They say no one survives a Valkyrie hunt. But when I opened my eyes, she was standing over me. Her armor, cold and black like bone. Her eyes, glowing red like fire. Her lips moved slowly, and she whispered, "I followed your blood scent for miles. Human." I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. And for a moment, I didn't even want to. Because deep inside me, something wanted her back. Like I had waited my whole life for this exact moment. And then, she leaned closer and smiled. But what she said next changed everything. They found him half dead in the rust pits of planet Orcs 9. Not dead, not alive, just barely human. His skin was torn, his suit melted into his flesh, and standing above him was her. She was not human. She had fangs, red glowing eyes, a tight armor that looked like it drank light. She whispered, "I followed your blood scent for miles. Human." And then she smiled. But that was only the beginning. Because what she did next will change everything you think you know. About predators, about war, and about love. Welcome to the story of the Scrap Dump Girl. My name is Michael. I'm the voiceover artist for this channel. Let's begin. It started in the Junklands. No sunlight reached here. Only metal skies and cold winds. Elias Gray, a human scout, had crash-landed 3 days ago. His ship was gone. His team, dead. His oxygen, low. Blood, dripping. He had crawled through wreckage, twisted steel and machine corpses, until his body finally gave up. He passed out on a mountain of broken android heads in the middle of nowhere. And then, she found him. Nyx. They called her a Valkyrie, a lost species, banned, hunted, feared. She had been watching him for hours, from the shadows of the junk towers, studying his pain, following the scent of his blood, like a trail. She didn't need to feed, not right away. She wanted to know. He was dying, but something about him held her gaze. Was it his heartbeat? The way his fingers still moved, like he wasn't ready to die? Or maybe it was the smell of courage, even when he was broken. When Elias opened his eyes, she was right there, kneeling beside him, one hand on his chest. He tried to speak, failed, tried again. "What are you?" She didn't answer, not with words. Her face came closer, cold breath on his neck. "I followed your blood scent for miles, human." Her voice was smooth, but sharp, like it could kiss you, or cut you. He felt fear, but it was wrapped in something strange. Curiosity. She studied his eyes, saw no panic, just confusion. Then she smiled. "You're not like the others," she said. "You didn't scream." Elias coughed. "Too tired." She tilted her head. "You should scream now," she said. "It's more fun that way." But she didn't bite him. Instead, she stood and turned her back. He passed out again. Hours later, Elias woke, wrapped in old cloth. A small fire burned nearby. He blinked, looked around. She was still there, sitting, watching. He tried to sit up. Pain exploded in his ribs. She didn't help, just stared. "Why, help me?" he asked. She answered without turning her head. I don't like weak prey. I like the ones who fight. Elias tried to laugh. Then I must disappoint you. She looked at him now. You crawled through 5 miles of razor wire and poison air, she said. That's not disappointing. Silence. Only the wind and the fire. Then she said something that made his blood run cold. They'll be here soon. The hunters. They want me dead. Why? He asked. Because I exist, she replied. Elias frowned. So why not run? She gave a soft laugh. Because I want to see who bleeds more, them or me. Elias stared at her. She was insane. Or maybe free. And for the first time in his life, he realized he didn't want to go home. Not yet. He wanted to know what she was, why she saved him, what she meant when she whispered, "You smell like something old." What does that mean? He asked. She stood, walked to him, leaned close. It means, she said softly, you're not just a human. Then she pressed 2 fingers to his chest. And everything changed. Elias didn't scream. Not when her fingers burned his chest. Not when a strange light passed through him. Not when he felt her thoughts, inside his head. It was like she unlocked something, a door in his blood. He gasped, sweat on his face, heartbeat racing. And then, silence. The pain faded. His vision cleared. Nyx stepped back. It's done, she said. What is done? She didn't answer. He looked down. There was a mark on his chest now, a symbol, red, glowing, pulsing, like it was alive. What did you do to me? Elias asked. I made you mine, Nyx said softly. No one touches you now, not without facing me. He tried to stand, his legs held. What are you talking about? Nyx turned away, walking toward the dark edge of the scrap hill. They'll come for me, she said. But they'll find you instead. First. Why? Elias asked. Because your blood isn't just human anymore. The next hour was quiet. They moved through the metal graveyard together. She walked ahead, barefoot, fast, like she knew every shadow. He followed slowly, still aching, still confused. She spoke only once. When we reach the old tower, she said, you'll have to choose. Choose what? Whether you want to survive or become something more. He didn't understand. Not yet. But something inside him was changing. Faster healing, sharper sight. And a voice, in the back of his mind, whispering in a language he had never learned. By nightfall, they reached it. A broken tower of steel and bone. Half alive, half machine, covered in blood vines. This was her home. Or maybe her prison. Inside, she lit red lanterns that glowed like fireflies. He sat by a cracked window, watching. Why save me? Elias asked again. Nyx sat on a pile of old cloaks, eyes shining in the dark. Because I'm tired, she said. Tired of running, tired of feeding, tired of being alone. She looked at him, her voice softer now. And because your blood sings. Elias frowned. That doesn't make sense. To you, she replied. Not yet. She stood again, walked toward him slowly. There is an oath. In my kind, she whispered. A bond made in blood and war, unbreakable, final. She took a blade from her side, thin, silver, cold. I saved your life, she said. Now I ask for your oath. What happens if I say no? She smiled, but there was sadness in it. Then I leave, she said, and you die tomorrow. Elias stared at her. This was madness. He barely knew her, didn't understand what she was, or what he was becoming. But something inside him called to her, like an echo, a match. He stood, took the blade, and cut his palm. Nyx did the same. Their blood touched, and the air around them shifted. The lights flickered. The vines moved. The tower trembled like it was waking up. And Nyx closed her eyes. It is done, she said. Our fates are now one. Elias felt it too. Something old had awakened in both of them. But outside the tower, in the shadows beyond the rust hills, the hunters had arrived. 10 of them, heavy armor, plasma hounds, eyes cold, orders clear. Target is marked Valkyrie class. Terminate on sight. They loaded their weapons and started moving, quietly, toward the tower. The sky above the junklands had turned black. Not night, but storm. Electric clouds boiled above the metal towers. Silent thunder, no lightning, just pressure, like something big was about to happen. Inside the broken tower, Elias paced slowly. He could feel something new in his blood. His wounds were almost gone. His hearing had sharpened, and when he closed his eyes, he could feel Nyx nearby, without even seeing her. She was standing on the rooftop now, barefoot, still as stone, watching the horizon. She didn't blink. Something's coming, Elias whispered. I know, she replied. They're close, aren't they? Yes. Elias swallowed hard. He picked up a metal rod, his only weapon. Nyx turned her head slightly. You're not ready to fight, she said. You just became marked. Your body needs time. Do I have a choice? Nyx smiled. Just a little. No, she said. Outside the tower, 10 hunters spread through the rusted maze. Each one silent, trained, merciless. One of them found a blood trail. Fresh. The leader, a tall man with a mechanical jaw, pointed forward. She's here, he growled. They moved like wolves. Fast, cold, certain. But the tower was awake. Vines pulled back from the walls. The air inside changed. The lights dimmed. Elias could feel it, in his bones. The tower knows, he said. Nyx stepped down from the roof and joined him. This place, it was made by my kind, she said. Long ago, before we were hunted. What will it do? She tilted her head. Watch, wait, protect, if it must. Elias looked around. Can it fight? Nyx gave a slow, sharp smile. It can bleed. The first hunter entered the base of the tower. He moved carefully, stepping over cables and bones. Suddenly, the metal beneath him shifted. The floor opened. He dropped, screaming, into a pit of red vines. The vines closed. Tight. Fast. Silence. The rest of the hunters stopped. The leader held up a fist. Trap systems, alive, he said. She's using the old tech. Should we retreat? One asked. No, the leader hissed. She's tired, weak, and she has a human with her. That means she's not feeding. He checked his weapon. We end this tonight. Inside, Elias stared at Nyx. They're still coming. Yes. You said I'm not ready. But if I fight, What happens to me? Nyx touched his arm. Your blood will wake up. All of it. Is that good? She paused. It's dangerous. For you. And for me. Elias nodded slowly. Then let's see how dangerous it gets. He stepped toward the door, and it opened by itself. Beyond the metal, darkness waited. Footsteps echoed. Laser sights moved like red fireflies. Nyx leaned in close, her voice low, her lips near his ear. If you die out there, she whispered, I will burn this whole planet. Then she vanished. Just gone. Like smoke. Elias stepped into the dark, his breath slow, his hands shaking. But his eyes were glowing. Just a little. The first hunter appeared through the fog and raised his gun. Elias didn't think. He moved. Fast. Too fast. The rod in his hand slammed against the man's helmet. Sparks. Bone. Blood. The man dropped. Elias blinked, stared at his own hand. What am I? He whispered. And behind him, Nyx whispered back, Becoming. But the rest of the hunters were close now. 7 left, and they had seen the light in Elias's eyes. He's infected, one growled. He's marked, said another. The leader stepped forward. Then kill him too. Elias could feel the change. It wasn't just inside his blood. It was in his bones. In the air. In the way time seemed slower now. His fingers tightened around the steel rod. It didn't feel heavy anymore. It felt like an extension of him. The hunters moved in fast. No mercy, no hesitation. 3 came from the left, 1 from the front, blades and rifles glowing in the fog. But Elias, he didn't run. He stepped forward and attacked. The first strike shattered a mask. The second cracked a spine. Blood sprayed into the air, and Elias barely blinked. The third hunter raised his weapon, pulled the trigger, but Elias moved before the blast came. He was behind the man in a second. A sharp twist. A scream. Silence. Elias stood over the bodies, breathing heavy. Not tired, excited. He had never fought like this, never moved like this. He looked down at his hands, and for the first time in his life, he was afraid of himself. Above, on a twisted bridge of rusted steel, Nyx watched him, not with worry, but wonder. She saw how easily he killed, how natural it felt in him. And she whispered, He's waking up too fast. Then she disappeared again, blending into shadow. 4 hunters remained, the leader among them. They circled the tower, scanning for movement. He's not just marked, one whispered. He's bonding. The leader growled. If that's true, kill him now. But then the tower moved. The walls shifted, doors locked. Stairs vanished. It was defending Elias and Nyx. One hunter got trapped in a closing gate, crushed with a metallic scream. Now, there were 3. Elias walked through the fog like a ghost. His ears picked up their heartbeats. His eyes could see their heat in the dark. And then, he heard her voice. Not out loud, in his head. Let go, she whispered. Stop holding back. Elias clenched his fists. His blood burned. One hunter chach. But Elias didn't use the rod this time. He used his hands. A punch to the chest. Armor shattered. The man flew back 10 feet. Didn't move again. The other 2 froze. Just for a moment. That was all it took. Nyx appeared behind one and ripped his throat out before he could scream. The last one tried to run. He didn't make it far. The tower swallowed him whole. Elias dropped to his knees, breathing hard, blood on his face, his hands, his soul. Nyx walked up beside him. "You did well," she said. He looked up at her. "What's happening to me?" "You're changing." "Into what?" She knelt, touched his face, her fingers warm despite the night. "Into something the galaxy hasn't seen for 1,000 years. He stared into her red eyes, and he didn't feel fear this time. He felt power and hunger. Far above them, in the orbit of planet Orcs 9, a satellite blinked to life. A signal. Activated. Unknown DNA detected. Unauthorized fusion. Threat level, ancient class, a new message was sent out. Valkyrie hybrid confirmed. Protocol, red eclipse initiated. The sky changed. Not slowly, not with warning, just instantly. From above the clouds, a red beam pierced the blackness. It wasn't light. It was something colder, older. Nyx felt it first. She stopped mid-step, her body stiff, her breath caught. "No," she whispered. Elias looked at her, confused. "What is that?" She didn't answer right away. She looked at the beam, and her voice dropped into something dark and hollow. "That is the red eclipse." In orbit, the satellite spun faster. Thousands of micro-drones spread across space. Some vanished into warp tunnels, others aimed straight for the surface. This wasn't a message. It was an execution order. A weapon designed for one thing: wipe out anything with Valkyrie blood. Elias stood near the tower's edge, staring at the sky. "I don't understand," he said. "Why now?" Nyx walked to him, slowly. Her armor shimmered under the strange red glow. "Because we broke the code," she said. "I took your blood and made you something new. The systems felt it." He shook his head. "So, they'll send more hunters?" She looked him in the eye. "No. This time, they'll send gods." Deep in the mountains of Orcs 9, old machines powered up for the first time in centuries. Buried vaults opened, and from the ground rose a ship the size of a city. It didn't fly. It crawled. Legs of steel, eyes of flame. Inside, something ancient woke up, covered in chains, but smiling. Back in the tower, Elias felt the ground shake. "What now?" he asked. Nyx walked to the center of the floor. She knelt, pressed her palm onto the glowing tiles, and the tower opened. The floor slid apart, revealing a staircase made of black crystal. "Where does that lead?" he asked. She looked up at him. "To the truth." They descended together. The deeper they went, the colder it got. But Elias wasn't shivering. His blood felt alive, like it knew this place. At the bottom was a door, covered in carvings, written in the language Elias had started to hear in his mind. "What is this?" he whispered. Nyx answered quietly. "A memory, a warning, a weapon." She reached out. The door opened. Inside was a chamber of red glass. Floating in the center was a heart, beating, alone. Elias stepped closer, and it started beating faster. 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 He looked at Nyx. "What is this?" he asked again. She looked afraid. That's not from me, she said. That's from you. Far above, the ship of gods had entered the atmosphere, and the sky turned fully red. The message was clear. The hybrid must not survive. The heart pulsed in the air. Red veins moved across the crystal walls. The chamber breathed like it was alive. Elias stepped closer, and it responded to him. Not to Nyx, not to anyone else. Only him. Nyx stood back, her hands tight, her face still, but her eyes full of fear. I've never seen it awake, she whispered. What is it? Elias asked, his voice shaking. She didn't speak for a moment. Then, slowly. It's not a machine, she said. It's not a weapon. It's you. Elias stared at the floating heart. Me? Nyx nodded. This chamber was made by the first Valkyrie thousands of years ago. They saw something in time. A shadow coming, across galaxies. Something only one bloodline could stop. They built this place to wait, to protect this heart. Until you were born. The moment she finished speaking, the heart moved. A beam of red light shot from it straight into Elias's chest. He screamed. His legs gave out. He collapsed to the floor, shaking. Nyx ran to him but couldn't touch him. An invisible field pushed her back. The chamber walls glowed. Symbols lit up, floating in the air. Valkyrie script, but not just that. Human DNA chains, spinning, merging. The hybrid was real. And it wasn't just a mix of species. It was a message from the beginning. Elias's eyes shot open. They glowed red, then white, then black. His body stopped shaking. He stood up slowly, and for a second, he wasn't Elias anymore. His voice came out deeper, layered. Two voices, one soul. The blood remembers. Nyx stepped back. Elias? He turned his head and smiled. I saw it. The future, the war, the silence after. Her face went pale. You connected to the vault mind. He nodded slowly. I saw what's coming. Above ground, the storm broke. The gods had arrived. The sky tore open as a massive war beast landed near the tower. Legs like skyscrapers, eyes like suns. Metal wings that screamed across the valley. Inside it, something moved. An armored figure, larger than life, with burning chains wrapped around its limbs. The leader of the Red Eclipse. It stepped out and spoke one word. Begin. Back in the chamber, Elias blinked. The voice was gone. He was back. But he remembered everything. They're here, he said. Nyx didn't ask how he knew. She just nodded. Then we fight. He turned toward the stairs. I can feel them. I can feel all of them. Nyx raised an eyebrow. All? Elias looked at her, his eyes glowing now, even without the heart's light. Yes, he said. Every life on this planet. The hybrid had awakened, and he wasn't afraid. Not anymore. The ground cracked open, not from bombs, not from earthquakes, but from something deeper, the awakening. The moment Elias stepped out of the tower, everything around him reacted. The soil, the air, the metal. Like the world knew, the hybrid was alive. The war beast from the sky towered above the valley. Its legs pierced the hills. Its engines screamed like dying stars. Hundreds of red drones poured from its chest, each one armed with plasma cores, each one looking for one target. Him. Nyx stood beside Elias. But for the first time, she looked small. Afraid? No, proud. "You don't have to fight," she said. Elias didn't answer. He stepped forward. The light from his body spread with each step. His skin glowed with red lines. His eyes were no longer just human. He looked at the sky, at death, at destiny. And he said softly, "Let them come." The drones struck first, 1,000 red streaks, moving faster than bullets. But Elias lifted his hand, and time slowed. The drones froze in the air, hovering like insects in a jar. Elias turned his hand, closed his fist, and they dropped, dead. The war beast roared, fired a beam the size of a city block. Nyx pulled her blades, but Elias didn't move. The beam hit him and bent. It cracked around his body, split into particles, and vanished. Inside the ship, the Red Eclipse leader leaned forward. "Impossible!" His machine armor groaned. His arms split open, revealing black chains powered by dying stars. He launched himself from the war beast, straight at Elias. The impact shattered mountains. Nyx was thrown back. The tower crumbled, the air burned. When the dust cleared, they were locked in battle, man versus machine, hybrid versus extinction. Elias fought like a memory, not just himself, but every Valkyrie that ever lived, and every human who ever died in war. He wasn't fast. He was instant. He wasn't strong. He was inevitable. The Red Eclipse screamed. His body broke. He begged for mercy. Elias stood over him, looked into his glowing, broken eyes, and said, "You feared what I could become, but you never asked why I became it." Then, he raised his hand and ended it. The war beast shut down. The sky cleared. The earth went silent. For the first time in 1,000 years, there was peace. Nyx walked toward him, slow and calm. She stood beside Elias. He looked at her, still glowing, still breathing, still human. She smiled. "I was wrong," she said softly. "You're not becoming one of us." Elias looked up at the stars. "No," he said. "I'm becoming something new, and the galaxy would never be the same."